So within 3 seconds, this will go around 110 to 150 kilometers. But Maruti 800 within 3 seconds, it can't even go 40, 50 kilometers. And you shouldn't say that, hey, this is not good. For the pricing, costing, so the Maruti is really good. And that is because of that pricing and costing, you'll be getting that. When you're going for the higher cost and higher range and higher costing, obviously the vehicle will be good. So you need to compare the capacities when they are both same. So that's the reason always it will say that you need to compare apple to apple, orange to orange, but not to anything else. So when you do the performance testing or security testing, it should replicate your production. So now when you have been replicated to the production, then doing the comparison between those particular environment, that makes sense. Or else, I don't think that is the right way of doing it. And that is not me thinking about this one. That's the standard which we shouldn't do it. So always remember, if someone asked, hey, when, where I need to do the performance testing or security testing, the next, even the I asked by default, when and where. When should we do the performance and security? When I should do the
Completion of,
performance and security?
after completion of
Before
all the
system
functional
review.
and
Excellent answer. Always we need to remember that when we need to do the performance and
Sir,
security,
functional.
see, after functional testing only we should do this one. And there is a hierarchy that we need to follow. Units, backend, UI, DB, then performance, then security. Security would be the lastest thing which we need to do it. So that is the hierarchy of testing which we need to do. Now, can you tell me why? Reason?
the main
What
purpose of the any application is to work. First, we have to check whether the functionalities, all the functionalities are working, and then we have to check in what we are. I mean, how the performance will work.
Entire the application, how it
The
is.
actually,
functional
what is
stage
the
itself
point
is
of
not
Functions.
working. What
Of
would
our
be the
function.
reason for going for non-functional
Is it
testing?
suitable for
That's it.
other browsers also? We need to check.
See, that is you're talking about compatibility, man. But what I'm asking is why we need to go for, why shouldn't we go for performance testing if, even though if you don't do the functional testing? The answer is, as you rightly guys said, that if functionality itself, if it is not working, what is the point of checking the performance? See, for an example, now login functionality is not working. I entered the right username, I entered the right password, but if that is not working, then what is the point of doing this performance testing? Because even if you do, it will not work, right? You enter the right username and password, it was not going to the home page. What you will validate the performance of this? What you will validate the security of this? Or what you will validate the compatibility of this? There is no point of validating them all, right? So first make sure that the functionality of the application works fine. See, because many of the organizations, see, for as we are in business, so many of the people comes and ask, hey, I need security testing and the performance testing. First of all, did you tested applications functionality is working or not? If the application functionality itself it is not tested thoroughly, how can you make sure that this will be done? No, my developers tested this. See, always we need to remember, can a cardiologist do a nephrology surgery?
No.
Obviously not.
No.
Because
Yes.
see, he is also a doctor, right? He should also do it, right? No, that is not fever. That's a specialty which we need to do it. So that's where we are experts. See, now why we need to understand the things from the ground and understand these things is, this is what our expertise. So you need to know which one, you know, these all things I'm telling you, right? Probably you might be knowing certain people in the industry. You don't just ask these particular questions. Whatever the things we have. Hey, what are the layers you're going to test when you have an application? Or what are the basic hierarchy which you are going to follow this one? Or what are the environments which we need to use it? So these all things, the basic things, the people will not answer you. You know, when I was meeting with agents in the companies, when I'm talking to them, they'll not understand this particular logics. Then we talk, this is what our responsibility actually to explain them and then educate them, saying that, hey, this is what we need to do it. And this is how the standards talks about it. It's because, see, now we are expert in this area, we need to guide them. They might be expertise in their own channels. It's not that every person should know about everything. But this is our job, and we need to understand this thoroughly and guide the people as and when it's required from the project implementation point of view. Okay, so this is how you should know that what the things we need to do it in the QA environment, what are the things we need to do it in the staging, what are the things we need to do it in the dev. Now in the production, hey, I completed my complete QA testing, all functional and partial functional test, means non-functional, which is look and feel. I have been tested in the QA environment, and in the staging, I have been completed my performance and the security. I push these things into the production. Now, what else I need to test it in the production? See, in the production, you will be having a test credential. This will not have by us. So the testing team of a particular company will have their own accounts. Via that account, just they will go and verify that they will do only the smoke test, not into the detail level testing, whether the functionality is working or not. Don't worry what you meant by smoke test and all things. This will be coming in the types of testing. So we'll discuss there in detail about it. So anyways, we will have 3-4 sessions on this one. So because there are different categories of testing, we'll discuss on that. So that would be tested in the production.
Will we be performing the functional testing also in system level, isn't it?
I didn't go for the system level till now. So when we go there, we'll talk about that. See now,
sorry, I meant in pre-production, are we doing the non-functional and functional as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. So no, that is what. See now, you need to understand that smoke testing is one of the type of functional testing. I told you, right? Functional testing have different categories of different subcategories. So smoke testing is one of the subcategory.
Okay.
Smoke is nothing but testing that particular application, whether it is ready for the testing or not. And as part of that one, even we will be covering the functionality of these particular applications too. I'll take an example.
Pre-prod also we do that, isn't it, Chris?
See,
in pre-production.
Okay. Now you wanted to do a performance testing. What do you mean by performance? I wanted to do a functionality for a login performance. I wanted to check it. Now, what is login functionality? I enter the username, I enter the password, click the login button, go to the home page.
Yeah.
Now you tell me, I'll give 10,000 users, and then I'll see the load. I'll give 10,000 users are loading with the username, password, clicking the button and going to the home page. By default, is it not a functionality?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
See now, on functional testing, see now this performance testing sits on top of functional testing. Now, for an example, I entered the 1,000 usernames and passwords, and I clicked the particular login button. It then went to the home page. Then that's a bug. So now, that's first of all, that's a functional bug. Secondly, because of more load, it failed. So now we will be checking that, hey, is it a functional bug or a performance issue? Functional bug means what? Even with a single user, if I enter the username password, if it's getting failed, then that's a functional bug. But when I entered 1,000 users at a given point of time, if it is not able to go to the home page, then that's a performance bug. So now you need to classify that particular bug. Which category of bug is this?
Okay.
But always remember that performance testing means it's not a different. It is on the same functionality you'll be testing with the performance. So by default, performance testing or the security testing includes the functionality only. That is what the things which we need to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
But by the way, that's a good question. So because many of the people have a different perception or perspective that, hey, performance testing is different and functional testing is different. See, objective of the testing is different, but underlying functionality is same. That is what we need to understand. See, now, when we talk about the different categories of testing, so please remind me the objectives of each. I'll not forget that, but please let me remind that. So what I can give you is, I give you the, see now, I'll not talk about the definition. I'll talk the real-time implementation and what we are going to achieve by that particular testing. That is most important. We need to understand for every category of testing, whatever the category of testing you do. See now, for example, performance testing. In the performance testing, there are 7 types of categories: load, endurance, longevity, durability, soak, and volume. So now we have these categories of testing. Like, everything is performance testing only, right? All these are performance testing only. But with each category of testing, will achieve a different objective. So with a load, we give the load and we see the speed. in stress, we give a load and we will destroy the system, and we see that how the system will get recovered back. So here we have the recovery system, and we also see that in which point this will be broken. Means this is like a simple example, a rubber band. You are dragging a rubber band to one extent, it will extend, and if you drag much more, it will broken. Right? So this is what the stress. So now in the load, we will not broke that. Where we give that load and see the speed of that particular application, how fast it is reacting back. You tell me, okay, when I go to the performance testing, we'll discuss about it in detail. But why I'm giving you an example is every category of testing will have a specific objective for testing that one, and you'll get a specific outcomes based upon that particular testing also. Okay, so this is what you need to understand about these particular things. Okay. So coming back here, so this is what we wanted to discuss as part of yesterday's last question. And someone is asking about another question also. I said that I'll talk tomorrow, and then we have been dropped. What is that question? Is there any other questions I missed yesterday?
No.
Any other questions I missed yesterday while closing the call?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So now before going to this particular module level and then integration and system level, any other questions relevance to the layers of testing and then levels of testing and integrating these particular levels, layers to the methodologies and types of testing and then applications? Any questions around this? Okay, I take silence as yes or no questions for you people so that I'm moving further. Okay,
Yeah.
let me take the next one. The module level we have been discussed, right? So now module is nothing but it's a group of units performing that particular functional testing and whatever the non-functional testing it is required. So that is what we have been taken an example of compost mail yesterday. So now compost mail consists of multiple units, right? So to BCC, CC, and then subject, and then body, and then importance, draft, everything we have been discussed. So combining all these particular units will form a module level testing, module level, and testing that particular module level, that is called module level testing. And what are the different categories of testing that will be performed? So we will be, that's a purely a black box testing we perform on this particular module level. And in this particular black box testing, we will perform the complete functional category of testings. So in this particular module level, specifically we test the same thing as we said that in the QA environment. So module level would be equal to the QA environment. That is the reason I said we need to discuss this one at the end. So now you understand, right? In the module level, we perform in the QA environment. Means what categories of testings we perform in the module level now?
Functional.
What categories of testing?
Functional categories.
See, even
Integration.
after
UI function, backend,
Wait.
system test.
I'm really confusing. Why you people are getting confusing on this particular aspects? Is it not clear? I'm
API
saying
used
what
to
we perform. Okay,
database.
what we perform in the QA environment.
UI function we perform and functional
Functional, UI functional,
function testing we perform.
and
Non-functional
backend functional.
compatibility, look and feel testing.
We are going to perform in a QA environment functional and some of the non-functional testings we are going to do.
That's it. The answer is the same. For the module level also we do the same. Yesterday I clearly marked it, right? So UI,
Yes.
functional, DB would be covered as part of this particular module level, and non-functional, what the things will be covered? Look and feel would be taken care as part of this particular module level testing. Now, where we do the compatibility testing. So compatibility testing, performance and security would be performed in the system level. So that we discussed very clearly yesterday also, right? And today also I was keep on saying that QA environment, these are the things which we can perform. Now, whatever the things which we perform in the QA environment, that is what the module level functionality test, module level testing. So those the things we will be performing on the module level.
Chris,
Now,
actually, this concept is clear, but where I'm confused is the words are used interchangeably. Actually, the categories, I understood the categories means functional and non-functional, but sometimes it is used for black box, gray box, and white box, which are usually called as testing methodologies. How does that work, Chris?
see now, you need one simple thing, Shan. You need to remember that what do you mean by white box? What are the different categories of testings will be involved in the white box? Only unit testing would be involved. Now, in black box, what are the different categories would be involved? Functional, non-functional, and regression. Now, in functional, I'll be having 16 to 17 different categories. All those things. See now, apart from white box, the unit testing, whatever things are there, you park under the black box. The confusion is solved, right?
Yeah, no, Chris, my doubt is the word categories, methodologies, can they be used by interchanging,
No,
or
no,
does it
no.
mean same?
That is completely different, right? How can we interchange that? See,
I mean,
methodologies
I don't know.
mean,
Actually, in many places, when the answer is black box and white box, the question is like the testing. Sorry, the testing categories. When you say testing categories, most of the answers will be like white box, black box, like
no,
that. But
no.
what I
Categories,
understood
what I
is
was
functional and
following is
non-functional or categories.
absolutely. See, either they can be called as categories or types. So majority of the times I'll be talking from the point of different types of testing or categories. So those are different categories of testings. But when I'm talking from the black box or white box, these are purely from the methodologies. See, as a testers, we shouldn't make this particular mistakes. So now if you're talking to someone else, always they will be confusing because there is no standardized material or accountability in the if you go for the internet, you'll not have it. But according to the standards of
Yes.
IEEE and ISTQB, if you go there, they clearly mention, hey, this should be called as methodologies. See, that is the reason on the day one when we are starting our course, we clearly mention the terminologies we follow only from the ISTQB and IEEE.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that is
Actually,
what our
that is where I'm getting confused. So,
so that is
yeah,
where we need to follow the standard.
right, right.
Okay, fine. So now we have been done with the unit level and we have been done with the module level. So now we are going for integration level. Okay. Now, what do you meant by integration level? Yes, you can raise your hands. I'll ask. Don't give me the group answers. Yeah, Deepika, go ahead.
In the integration level, two or more modules, I mean, one or more like that, they will integrate either from the, first the parent module, anything which we are on priority that will develop, and then the child modules will develop, and then then they integrate that one. This one is there are actually two approaches out there. I mean, top-down approach and the bottom-up approach in the integration module, integration testing, levels of testing.
Okay. Any other answers?
Hello, sir.
Group of modules combined is called the integration.
Hello.
Integrating all the modules with all the components and testing it is integration level testing. Chris?
One or more modules, a group
Hello.
of units will make it into the modules or the compounds. Integration, there are three types of approaches. First, top to bottom, and the second type, bottom to top, and third type, big bang approach.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead.
Testing is a
Integration testing is combining one or R model. These models are each communicate other not to check the how it works the data flow. It's like a integration testing. There are several types of integration testing, and top and bottom approach, and bottom to top approach, and sandwich approach, and big bang approach, and this like of integration.
Okay.
It's like to test the data flow one module to and another module. It's how to flow it like means integration test.
First thing you need to understand, that is not model. This is modules. Models are different. Modules are different. Okay, fine. So I understand what is your answer. Your answer and then your understanding is right, but the presentation you need to slightly change that. Okay. So now, Saujanya, can you go back to a whiteboard and quickly draw this one? So you'll be having different units, small units. So now we talked about unit is nothing but it is the smallest part of an application. So now testing that particular units we'll be doing in the unit level. Now, next, what we will be trying to do it is a grouping of these particular units will form the module, which it is in the second level. And testing that particular module is means will be done in the module level, and the different categories of testings on what are the methodologies we have been used and who is the persons involved in it. So these things we have been discussed. Now, when it comes to the integration modules, now what it means to is units combined to form modules. Now, a group of modules will be combining. Okay, we are combining a group of modules and then testing them is called an integration testing. And in integration testing, we have three different categories of integration approaches, or three different category integration approaches. Always you need to remember, test approaches are different. The name test approaches, integration approaches. These are two different terminologies. Test approaches or testing approaches, integration approaches. Now, integration approach would be part of integration testing. Okay, integration level. Now there are two different terminologies: integration level, integration testing. Where you do integration testing? I do in the integration level.
Yes.
What are integration approaches? There are three integration approaches: top to bottom, bottom to top, sandwich or big bang. These are three approaches. Stressing out this particular approaches means many of the times the people, when we're talking about, hey, what are the different type of testing approaches? The people used to answer this. No. So the approaches are top to bottom approach, bottom to top approach, sandwich approach. These are integration approaches. Means when you are going for an integration model, or when you wanted to integrate all these particular modules, then you will be having these particular approaches. Why should we integrate? Why should we integrate and then test it? I tested everything. It's working fine because I covered all my functional testing and everything I have been covered. Now, what is the point of doing this integration testing over here? What is
Whether
why?
they are having a flow between the one module to another module is there or not. We have to check in this integration.
Only the
Absolutely.
communication between them.
See, now for an example, in a compose mail, I composed all the things and everything is working fine. And I click a send button, the mail went. The same mail need to be reflected in outbox. Means I composed a mail. I composed a mail. And once after composing mail and I send that particular mail, so that mail need to reflect me in the outbox or in the send mails, right? So now it need to pass that particular information, means it need to have that module to module connection. Okay, let me leave this particular mails. Let me go for another good examples. Let me go for the retail. It will be easy for us to understand. Now, in Amazon, I went for a searching. I searched for a boxing glove. Once I got the boxing glove, I searched boxing glove, so that multiple boxing gloves are there. I chosen one boxing glove and I went and I've taken the size for double XL, and then I have been choosing the color black, and then after selecting that particular product, I added to the cart, and after doing the cart adding, then I logged in and checked my address, and then I go to the payment page, I do the payment and with the UPI, and then I go to the thank you page. Now you see here, there are different modules. Searching is one module, right? Selection of colors and then selection of sizes. So this is one module. And adding that product to the cart. And once I added, logging is one module. And then verification of my address, that's another module. Doing a payment, another module. Now, I need to see now every individual module works fine, but all together it need to work. Then only it makes sense. Whether they have a proper establishment between, or whether they can a module to module, whether you have a right communication to talk with each other. So then this would be a great challenge. Many of the applications fails because of this. Independent module works fine, but when you connected the different modules, it will not work properly. That is the greatest challenges. Do you remember RAD model? So this is one of the biggest disadvantage which we faced there. RAD, rapid application development. We have different modules, they'll be doing it. But when they shot at one shot, they integrated all. They used to have a lot of problems in this. So that's how they are not able to, that RAD model was not able to succeed in the market too. So in this particular integration approaches, so now you have three categories integration approaches. The first one is top to bottom. Okay, so the name itself, it was saying the top to bottom means we'll be having the concept here. The most important, I told you, right? So before 15 years, they used to ask these questions. What is the driver? What is stub? So one of the most important question. For an example, you take a train. Without an engine, this particular remaining bogies can run.
No,
No,
sir.
Obviously, they can't run.
No.
So now, so first the engine would be there, right? So that is called driver. So now in the top to bottom, what it will happen, the name itself as it is saying the top. So now first module would be developed, and second module would be developed, third module would be developed, fourth module would be developed, fifth module. Means the integration will be developed parallelly also, but integration will be coming from the top to bottom. Now bottom to top means, now here you take the example of a building construction. So now from the foundation, ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor, fifth floor, like that it will go. Means they will develop that and start to integrate from the bottom. Means here this can be explained in this way also. Parent modules, child modules. So now from the parent module, it will start doing the integrating to the other modules. Means from the top position to bottom, it will be integrated. From the bottom to top, they will start to do the integration. So this is called bottom to top approach, or child to parent approach, or parent to child approach. Top is parent to child, bottom to top is child to parent. So now what does this mean is, hey, I have 5-6 modules. How I'm going to integrate these particular modules? See, now that is what I'm talking about, the integration approaches, right? So how I should integrate these particular modules? Boss, you have parent-child relation, so come from the parent. Now in the retail practice, definitely I need to come with a parent-child module integration. Means I need to search for a product, and once I search for the product, then I need to go for the product detail page, add that one cart, buying that one. So now if you see that, so now here I'll be coming from the top to bottom, the integration between them. So this is called top to bottom approach. And bottom to top approach, so here I'll be going ahead from develop the child modules. Later on, I'll develop my login page. first I'll create the complete modules. Later I'll develop my login page. So I'm going from my top, from bottom, and then I start to integrate to my login page also. So this is called bottom to child. Now, driver comes in the part of top to bottom. What do you meant by a driver and what do you meant by a stub? Driver is nothing but, for an example, there is no engine, but I need to drive my I need to drive the complete all bogies, right? Instead of driver, I'll keep a temporary program to run my remaining modules, which it means that my parent module was not developed. Remaining modules were developed, but to bypass that one, what I'll do, a temporary program means I don't have the login page created. But what we do is, if you click a button, it will go into the home page. Because later I can develop my login page, because that is not priority now. Let me develop the complete functionalities first. So if the parent module is missing, and instead of a parent module, if you're keeping a temporary program and continue to integrate with your child modules, that temporary program is called the driver. Very simple, don't get confused. This will happen in top to bottom. See, what do you mean by top to bottom? From the parent, it will integrate to the child modules. This is called top to bottom. Simple example and simple definition. Everyone understood, right? In integration approaches, first approach is top to bottom. Top to bottom is nothing but parent to child module integrations. Now, the parent is missing, but I wanted to integrate with the child modules. Then I use a temporary program. So this temporary program is called as a driver. So top to bottom consists of this particular implementation, which is called driver. Now coming to stub. Stub is nothing but from bottom to top, means child to parent. We are doing the integration. At this point of time, child modules are missing, but I integrate to the parent module with the help of certain program, temporary programs. Now, for an example, I wanted to make, I was integrated with all, but certain child modules are not there. Example, payment modules are not there, but it need to be completed with the parent login and then do a payment. Now, child modules are not there. Instead of the child modules, I used some temporary program to bypass that. That is called stub. So the stub will comes in the bottom to top approach. Bottom to top approach. So this is called top to bottom and bottom to top, and driver and stub concepts as part of integration level. And integration testing would be performed in integration level. And last but not least, Big Bang or sandwich. The name itself, it was saying that the Big Bang. So we have been used the same word in the RAD also. Means combining all modules at one shot. It doesn't depend upon whether it's a parent module or child module. So it's trying to merge all the things at one shot. So then that is called Big Bang approach. So in the Big Bang approach, all modules will be integrated at one shot. Or even this can be called as a sandwich approach also, or a mixed approach also. You don't worry too much about that. That's the different names and everything. So all modules at one shot, they will integrate and then they will test that. So this is where it comes into the RAD. So overall, the third level, which it is in our testing, is integration level. In integration level, we do the integration testing. And in integration level, we have 3 integration approaches: top to bottom, bottom to top, Big Bang approach, or sandwich approach, or mixed approach. Now, top to bottom is nothing but integrating from parent module to the child modules is called top to bottom. And here, if a parent module is missing, and instead of a parent module keeping a temporary code to continue to integrate your child modules, then this is called driver. And coming to the bottom to top approach, integrating from the child modules to the parent modules, then this is called bottom to top approach. And if any particular child module is missing, bypassing that one with a temporary code base, then this is called stub. And big bang approach, which it is combining or integrating all the modules at one shot, then this is called big bang approach, or mixed approach, or sandwich approach. So this is for the integration level. So in integration level, we do the integration testing. Integration testing is nothing but combining one or more modules and test the complete functionality or complete workflow. This is called as integration testing. Actually, integration testing is also part of functional testing. Simple. Now we covered the integration also. So now I told you, right, in functional testing, there are 16 categories of testing. Integration testing is also part of functional testing. So that's how we wanted to conclude the integration level. Now you got it, right? Now, what methodology will be using as for what methodology will be using it for integration level?
Black
White
box.
box.
Black
Black
box.
box.
Black box testing.
Who's saying white box?
Me,
Was
sir.
I see white box is only for unit level. In all other levels, we will be performing only black box only. How come white box can come here? What do you mean by white box? Understanding the internal coding structure and testing them. So what coding we see? We will never enter into the code base for doing this all categories of testing. So combining modules, that all things will be done in the backend, that we don't even bother how they integrated and all. From the black box only, from the external point of view only, we'll be testing them. So now what methodology used means it is purely black box methodology. Who will perform this particular black box testing? All our QS, QCs, test engineers, or software test engineers. Now, what category of testing will be performing it? Integration testing is performed here. Integration testing will be part of functional testing. So this is the derivation. You need to bring it for the integration level. Are we clear? What is integration level? What is integration testing? What are the integration approaches? What are the methodologies will be covered? And what are the different categories of testings or types of testings will be performed? So these all things you should be able to understand as part of this conversation. Any questions in the integration level?
Hi, Chris.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the integration level, if you take example for Amazon, like adding a product, we can consider as a parent module, and go to the cut is a second module, which consider as a corresponding child module. Like after the second child, if we want to increase the products, it would consider as a third module.
See, no, you need to understand one point. Adding modules is one module, right? Adding
Yeah,
products is one module.
like if you want to increase size of the products, like
Okay,
it would
now
be
you tell
considered
me
as,
you are sending a mail from a compose mail.
yeah.
Now you tell me there sending 1,000 mails will be like 1,000 modules.
No, one would be like if any one of
Then
the
if
module
logic is what same
between,
there, how come here it would be changed?
like my question is, if any one of the module missing during, if you take one a specific objective from top to end, if any one of the module missing, which is being between these modules, like how would like
You are
which
getting
type of,
confused now. So first of all, you need to understand one point. What is meant by module? See, for a consideration, I have been taken that adding module is an particular adding product is an module. So now I can add one product or 1,000 products or 10,000 products. So that all things happens in only one particular module, which is add module.
okay.
See, now for an example, I'm searching for some 1 lakh products. It is not that 1 lakh different modules, right? So that is functionality.
Hmm.
So now one functionality is called one module. That is what our, see, now compose mail is one module. Means holistically we have been made that one as a module. How you segregate these modules, it all depends upon us. It all depends upon the company, and it all depends upon the architect or the product owner. Hey, all payment related, I'll make one module. All product search, I'll make one order, one module. And all ad producting, I'll make one particular module. So now in that module, see, now you are iterating or repeating the same activity for multiple times. In the same module, that is a different functionality, but that all belongs to a one particular module itself. You know, in send mail, I'm sending 1,000 mails, but that is belongs to compose mail only. And the same way, searching 1 lakh products, but that all things will be done in the same module, which is search module. And add component, add product. Now I added 10,000 products, but still that belongs to only one particular module. Payment module, one module. So now this segregation also, it depends upon the person to person individuals. I will be considering search and add products both into one single module. It's up to you. Who
Okay.
stopped you to do that? So that is all depends upon the product owner and then developers or project
Okay,
managers.
between okay, parent module has been developed and the Sage products module has been developed. Between add to cart module hasn't been developed, then how we can do integration?
That is what I'm saying, right? Stub. So they keep a temporary program. So now, for an example, you need to have. So you selected a particular product, and then you need to add to the cart, and in the cart it will go. So this is what the functionality. But what it happened is, still the add to cart module was developing by the other developer. It is not yet completed, but I need to complete my testing. So what I try to do is, hey, give me a temporary program. Means as soon I'll be having a temporary button or a link or anything. As soon they click that one, immediately that will go the product from the product detail page. It will go to the cart and then you can proceed further with the payments. See, usually that will not happen. In the rare cases only this will happen. Every time all modules will be missing, we can't test it, right? But certain
Okay.
times, very rarely this situation happens. But at that point of time, if your child module is missing, so that you can add certain temporary program to continue for this, there would be genuine reason. At that point of time, then that is called stub.
Okay, whenever we
Right?
required stub or driver code, we can use, right?
Absolutely. But
Okay,
that would
what
be a
I
rare conditions, and then that is not recommended for every time.
okay.
In a very, see now, for an example, uh, uh, every day you are attending for a class, and suddenly you wanted to leave. One day, on personal emergency, you wanted to have a leave, you can take that. But not every day you can take a leave, right? Same way, the implementation of this particular driver stub, in a rare situations it will happen, but not regularly.
Okay, what I understand is driver is the very first code, and the stub is very last code, which we can use it
Not
only at once.
may not be right. Driver is the first code. That is right. Stub
Okay,
is not the last one. It may be the middle or the last.
okay,
Child,
got it now.
you have only one parent, and you can have from one parent many children.
Yeah,
Okay, that children might be in between, or that might be children in the last. But parent is the parent, right? So now from parent only you have all the childs. Now if the parent is missing, then that is called driver. Example, login functionality. Many of the times this will happen. So without having a login page, you need to go to the home page and test it. At that time, you will be having no username login. So this they will give as soon as you navigated to Amazon, or for example, imagine that you navigated to URL. There you need to click just one button so that you will go to the home page. That button, it is nothing but it will navigate you to the home page. But usually what it will to happen, the page is under development. They are developing the username and password, and that will take you to the home page.
okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay,
Yeah, Krish, I
fine.
have, for my understanding, just for my clarity. So the driver and stub is act like a dummy program, like it won't do any special operation, just it will act like a dummy to bypass the particular program. Is it right?
That's it, right? See now, you have your car tired, Saraswati. So suddenly your car tire punctured, or it's a flat tire. you will keep that particular stepney you use for certain time, and then once again you made the puncture, and then you fix that particular tire back, and then you will remove your stepney. So that is a temporary program. It's a dummy. See, now in cricket we'll be having substitutes. So now the player might be hurt. So at that point of time, for doing certain time fielding, the 12th man will come as a substitute player. That guy only fields. He will not bowl. He will not bat. So that is purely a dummy. So just for a substitute, he came there and then he is going away. The same way in our code, in our application development, see, now it shouldn't stop your testing or executions. So that's where we keep that particular thing. And don't too much worry about this one. So this will happen very rarely, but in interviews they will ask you this particular questions. See, if an interviewer is having more than 15 years of an experience, and if they wanted to talk to you in a detailed way, definitely they will ask you these questions. And an interviewer who is having 5 to 6 years experience, if they are doing this one, they will never ask you these questions because they don't know about these things. Very rarely we see a people who taking an interview asked about a driver and stuff concepts nowadays. They talk, first of all, they don't even understand what are the integration approaches. And nowadays the integration, the module level testing and the integration level testing, both are mixed and matched. So because of those reasons, so these are getting extincted. When I go for test cases, I'll talk about this particular pointer. Remind me when we go for test case development and then test case writings, there are different ways of writing a test case. There we will be talking about this workflow testing and then a test case. There I'll explain about this. Okay, fine. Any other pointer?